What y'all doing? What y'all doing? Hey y'all, so anyway, I was asked to do a human interest piece on homelessness, and how I became homeless, a social advocate, very dynamic woman, young woman reached out to me. I guess, I don't know, maybe through my hashtag. She saw me on Instagram. But we connected, and she has a movement. Kindred spirits, you know. She's younger than me, but we're a whole lot alike. You know, I see a lot of me in her. I'm older, so I don't know, somehow, you know, cosmically, we're connected. And I never asked her how she found me, you know. I know it has to be through Instagram because, hey, I'm the hashtag queen, and when you do those hashtags, you know, it prompts people to look at your story and what's going on with you. So, with that being said, I'm going to go ahead. I put my storyboard up. She gave me some questions. She wanted to know about my childhood up to now, how I became homeless, you know, when did things change, thus and so forth and so on. She said I can talk, just put my story out there. And that's what I intend to do. And it's wonderful because I am doing my autobiography. I'm doing my hashtag biodoc. I'm uploading the story of my life. People have said, you know, Sheila, you have a very interesting story. You should write a book. Well, I looked into it, you know, what goes along with writing a book. And I'm thinking, no. I've always been into pictures and, you know, I write a lot of notes. What else? I do a lot of videos now. So my way of, you know, telling the story of my life is uploading clips, you know, blogging, vlogging, Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube, and, you know, whatever other social media venues are out there. That's how I'm telling my story. I say that my life is an open book. I mean, Facebook, and I'm very forthcoming. I tell it like it is. I put it out there. I've always been like that. I will tell on myself. I will expose myself. So hashtag expose, hashtag biodoc, hashtag my life, hashtag my story. So let me begin. When you do a biographical documentary or autobiography, there's a pattern that you follow with it. So the first thing is your name. My name is Sheila Muhammad. That's Sheila Lori Muhammad. I've had other names. I was born Sheila Lori Clark. I have nicknames: she baby, Sheila, what else? Crazy bitch, Sister Sheila, Auntie Sheila, Cousin Sheila. And when I say Cousin Sheila, I don't really know my blood relatives as far as cousins are concerned, but I was introduced to the concept of cousin through a young social media dynamic comedian. Her name is Auntie Hammy, and she's like me, you know, limited family, but she wanted to establish a movement and really just get her own family. You know, she calls herself Auntie, and then her nieces and nephews, and we're all cousins. And I have cousins, but I really don't know who they are. You know, I know I have uncles who have children, but I've really never had a family reunion, and I don't know who my people are. Recently, I did do the AfricanAncestry.com DNA through my mother. And at some point, 500 to 2,000 years ago, there was a Yoruba woman, the now-day people of Nigeria. So a lot of people say, oh, those DNA tests and blah, blah, blip-de-blip. I'm comfortable and I feel okay with my results. It's a Black-owned, Black-operated company. And I'm always, I support my people. I mean, check my receipts. So, yes, I am, through my mother's lineage, I am a Yoruba woman, 100% African. People say, "Oh no, you're Native American." No, I've looked at some Yoruba women, some wedding. They're all dressed up in their regal, and I want to look like that too. But anyway, yeah, I'm like, wait a minute, we could be sisters. The thing with being 100% African, hey, it's all here. You see that? Native American, Asian, Caucasian, whatever, the different tribes and noses and lips, it's all here. So at first I was like, well, I feel African. Well, yes, I'm 100% African. But anyway, lots of names. Who am I? That is really something when people ask who you are. So I'm going to go to my notes. Okay. I've always been a note taker, and I'm just going to pick up my notes that describe, really who I am and just read them off. And I have hashtags added to them. I call myself the hashtag queen. Okay. So let's start. Who am I? At the present, I'm Turban Cousin Sheila. So hashtag Turban Cousin Sheila and see who pops up. Cousin Sheila, I told you about the dynamic comedian. I became a cousin to many. I think it's like over 2,000 cousins I have now through this young dynamic comedian, Auntie Hammy. So I'm a cousin. Hashtag Cousin Sheila. I'm a teacher. That's my favorite term of endearment. I've been a teacher. I've been a leader of women and girls. I've guided people in their life. So I'm a teacher, leader, and a guide. I'm also a creator. Hashtag creator, okay? I'll get to that a little bit later in this broadcast. I'm someone, who am I? I'm someone who loves to eat, drink, and be merry. If you hashtag I love to eat, drink, and be merry, guess who pops up, That goes back into childhood. I've always loved to eat, drink, and be merry. Being merry is just happy and joyful, all of that. Sociable. I have a social club now, I've always loved getting people together. It started in my youth. I saw that growing up as a young girl, as a young girl, a teenager. I saw socialization, the teenagers, those who were older than us, and the children. We were there, all rocking and rolling and having a good time together. Hashtag women and girl advocate. I go hard for women and girls, y'all. What? I'm a woman. I'm a girl. I'm an advocate for myself. So if you hashtag women and girl advocate, that's who I am. I go hard for women and girls. Why not? That's who I am. Miss Sheila School of Distinction. I'm a tutor. I teach children ages 3 to 13. On Facebook, Miss Sheila School of Distinction is there. I can be found, teaching and training right there on social media. I'm also someone who has had a little doggy. Hashtag me and Teddy. I'm known as someone who has a little 5-pound Yorkshire Terrier who's been with me for 14 years, y'all. I'm someone who... And I'll say it like this. I curse and I cuss. It's a difference. A curse. A curse is when you place a curse on someone, like Whoopi Goldberg in the movie. All you did to me is going back on you. That's a curse. And I cuss. I say cuss words, okay? Not all the time, but hey, every now and again, I let it rip. From the MFs to the N-words and so forth and so on. So here's a curse. # Hashtag death to all pedophiles and abusers of children. That's the bane of our existence. When you mess with children, fuck them up. There I go. Cursing. No, cussing. Well, it's a curse and a cuss. That's where it all starts, you know. I speak about on Facebook my tragedy in childhood. And it deals with pedophilia, grown men messing, raping, fucking children. And it's the bane of our existence. I say this whole world is one big mental hospital with differing degrees of illness. And humans are fucked up. That's the only way I can, really come to a conclusion as far as abuse of children and pedophilia. So moving on. What am I best known for? Did I speak on that already? Yeah, I guess if you look at Facebook and Instagram, that's the things that I just named off. That's what I'm best known for. I mean, it's many. When was I born? I was born in 1962, December 6, 1962. I have a copy of my birth certificate. As far as children is concerned, I never had any children of my own. Yes, and I've put this on Facebook. I've been pregnant before twice. Once at 15 and once at 17. Each time I had abortions. The first time it was at the prompting of my guardian, and then the second time my guardian look, hands off. I'm not dealing with you on this time. So a girlfriend of mine, someone I, known since childhood, I'm not going to mention her name. She's had several abortions, but she took care of me and made sure I got to my appointment, picked me up, the whole 9 yards. So I didn't have any children of my own, but I've really taught and guided and, lots and lots of children throughout my life. I've always been a teacher, even as a little girl. As far as spouses are concerned, yes, I've been married more than once, 3 times, count them, 1, 2, 3 times. I've been married. First time, it was for a year. The second time, 3 months. And then the final time, this last time, it was for 3 years. Okay. So those are my marriages. As far as occupation is concerned, I had to write some notes, y'all. I started working at 15. I had to get permission from my guardian, and it had to be written and notarized for me to start working. My first job was at Fat Burgers on La Cienega and San Vicente. Okay, 15 years old, y'all. W-2 form, the whole 9 yards, paying taxes. 15. I love working at Fat Burgers. I knew the family through my sister went to school and hung out with the granddaughter of the original OG owner of Fat Burgers, Miss Lovey Yancey. And so I had connections. I had my first job at 15, and it was working at Fat Burgers, at the actual one that the daughter of the OG, it was hers. She had a couple of them, and then it went franchise. But dynamic woman. Gwen Farrell, she owned the one that I worked at. And her daughter and my sister were best friends, and, I got to see them in their youth. So Fat Burgers was my first job. Then I went on to McDonald's at 16. I worked at FedMart and Fedco at 17. Brody Air and Heating, which was right up the street from where I went to high school, Hamilton High. NAACP, that I worked there. I worked at a law office in Beverly Hills. I worked at an office management office in Beverly Hills. I worked at a Golden State Mutual Life Insurance Company that was a black-owned, black-operated insurance company. I left there and went to Carnation, the home office on Wilshire, which later became Nestle, and they moved to Glendale. I was there for a little while. Oh, oh my goodness. Then I left there and I started working at a private religious school, which is Muhammad University of Islam. I left there and went back to GSM. Can you believe it? I also worked at night at Odyssey Theater in West LA. Whew, I did in-home support services, and I worked for Party Light Candles. My goodness. That's a lot of, like the Jamaicans. That's a lot of work. Okay, my early life. Whew. I remember, a few things in my early life. Some of them are kind of tragic. Some of them are very tragic. I had to deal with childhood molestation, y'all. Molestation. That's one of my earliest memories. Another one was my mother. She was an alcoholic, a very troubled woman. I remember being her caregiver in my early life. I was a homebody because I was watching after my mother, I was a young girl. She died when I was 13, so before 13, I was a caregiver. My early life consisted of, being around home, caretaking for my mother, who was a very sick woman. I remember being in the house and waking up from a nap and walking toward the bathroom. And I peeped in the bathroom, and we lived in a two-story. And I saw the window broken, upstairs into the bathroom. And I said, ooh, somebody in trouble. They done broke that window. So I go downstairs just to check it out. I'm a young girl, but I had adult responsibilities. So I go downstairs to check it out. And I go to the front door. I'm thinking somebody hit it with a rock, a ball, something. I opened the door, and here comes my mother. All cut up and bleeding. Her pants weren't even pulled all the way up.